subject of high controversy and many subjective views. That's right, I'm talking about the Keystone Phase 4 pipeline. But let's put all that aside today because we're going to focus on three things. 1, defining what this project is. 2, pinpointing location proposals. And 3, assessing the positive and negative attributes. At the end of this presentation, you are going to be able to form your own conclusion and opinions regarding this project. However, whatever conclusions you come to, this is something that affects us all as Nebraskans. 1, let's define what this project is, starting with TransCanada Corporation. This is a North American energy company, and what they do is pump about 800,000 barrels of oil a day, starting up in Alberta, Canada, going down and through the U.S. through central Nebraska, down back into the Gulf of Texas. This system does already have 3 pipelines in place, but we are going to focus on the Phase 4 proposal. Now this pipeline would be the largest that runs through the United States at about 3 feet in diameter. This was first proposed in 2008, so for over a decade this has been tossed around, going back and forth. In the January 18th, 2012 edition of the Washington Post, it was headlined that the Obama administration had rejected this proposal. Juliet Eckren got his statement saying that this rejection was not on the merit of the pipeline itself, but on a deadline and not enough time to get information about the project to therefore protect the American people. Skipping ahead a few years, as Trump takes presidency, he did revive this project. The Omaha World-Herald May 2018 edition stated that Trump defends the Keystone Phase 4 pipeline in court. U.S. attorneys within this article said that this project had the potential to bring jobs and oil independence to the United States. So now with this moving forward again, this brings us to my second point. Why does this concern Central Nebraskans? And that's the location. So this map quite literally hits close to home. Editor Kulnick from the Lincoln Journal-Star, November 2017 edition, used this as a visual in her article. This is what is already in place, and these 2 lines represent 2 proposal paths for the Phase 4 line. Nebraska's ecosystem is what makes this so crucial to us as residents. Online columnist Pierce Nagin from Planet Experts explains why Nebraskans are trying to preserve the sandhills and keep disruptions off of them like this pipeline. And that's the Ogallala Aquifer. This is 1 billion acre-feet of fresh groundwater. Not only does this supply Nebraska with water resources, but 6 other states as well. So Pilger from the Lincoln Journal-Star, in her article in 2017, November, states that the Nebraska Public Service Commission asked the State Department to approve an alternate route to avoid the aquifer. Assistant Attorney General Bartell said that this new path would cross fewer rivers and wells within 500 feet of this line. So as you can see, this is a topic of high controversy, and my next point addresses that in depth. Let's start with the negatives of this project. Reporter Albion from the Rolling Stone said in his October 2017 article that TransCanada does have the right to take land from landowners under eminent domain. Eminent domain is a rule under the 5th Amendment that says the state can take private property from landowners as long as they pay fairly for it for public use. Now, the standard for public use is usually schools, hospitals, roads, but however, most states do provide this option to pipeline companies as well. Second, an environmental concern is a beetle, specifically an American burying beetle. Reporter Nordhaus for the Scientific American says in December 2017 article that this beetle is on the endangered species list. It was once found in 35 states and now has dwindled down to 6. Nordhaus says that oil companies can in fact drill within this habitat. However, they will pay a fine to a conservation bank to then relocate the beetle. This fine is anywhere from $8,000 to $15,000 per acre of disturbed habitat. And lastly, of course, the concern of leaking. Nebraska is a rural area, so any leak would be hard to detect right away. Reporter Volvecki from Reuters Online said in November 2017 issue that TransCanada estimated that a leak of more than 50 barrels should not occur more than once every 11 years. However, there have been 3 significant leaks previous to this statement. The most recent being a 5,000 barrel spill in South Dakota in November of 2017. Moving on to the benefits of this pipeline project. Elliott Woods, reporting for the Virginia Quarterly Review, said in fall of 2013 article, he estimated 9,000 jobs should come of this for skilled union workers. By year 2035, an estimated 500,000 jobs. The American GDP would then up to $172 billion. Another great benefit is that this oil does come from Canada. Right now, the United States is highly dependent on the Middle Eastern countries for oil. Not only is this extremely expensive to import, but these countries do not share the same U.S. values. So to conclude, this is so essential for Nebraskans to be aware about this pipeline project, because you can now define the purpose, know the locations of proposal, and assess the good and the bad. You are now free to form your own opinions logically. However, whichever side you choose, this is something that affects us all. So thank you very much for listening.